Look, we're not getting into this.
Well,
I am now asking you to leave the area because I feel that you...
On what grounds?
Because you are alarming the public.
No. Which section of the law? You give me the section of the law, I'll quite happily move.
You did.
Are you accusing me of being a terrorist? Have reasonable suspicion to believe that I'm up to anything other than...
Alright guys, welcome to today's video. What starts as a man quietly filming a public building quickly turns into a tense confrontation with police. Officers approach him demanding answers, questioning why he's recording, and asking for personal details despite him standing lawfully on a public footpath. The auditor calmly explains he's filming for a story, but the pressure immediately builds as officers begin hinting at public safety concerns without clearly explaining any legal authority.
Can I help you?
No, not at all, thanks.
I'm just wondering what you're doing.
I've just explained to one of the civic enforcement officers I'm filming.
What are you filming?
Anything I can see from public.
Right, and is there a reason behind that?
It's for a story.
Right, okay. Can I take your details, please?
What would you like my details for?
Because obviously in the interests of public safety and everything like that, when somebody is out filming and having a look around public buildings,
right,
we have a duty of care,
right,
to check you out.
What, a duty of care to whom?
To the general public.
I'm part of the general public?
Yes.
I don't have to give you my details then?
Right, I can just get other people.
Well, other people, I'm still not obliged to give you my details.
The situation escalates when officers begin linking the filming to terrorism concerns. Even after the man repeatedly explains he is legally recording from a public place, police continue pushing for identification, while suggesting his behavior appears suspicious. One officer admits they do not know what he is up to, while another references current threat levels and recent incidents nearby. Instead of presenting evidence of wrongdoing, the interaction becomes increasingly focused on suspicion built purely around a camera.
I don't know whether you are committing any criminal offences in this area.
I'm certainly not.
This gentleman is out filming and is pointing up, looking at all the cameras, and obviously in light of...
Identify the cameras up there?
In light of...
I'm not filming that. I'm filming up there. I was filming up there when this lady approached.
What's the issue? Like?
There isn't an issue.
I'm just wondering why he's filming public buildings.
Yeah, why?
Well, I'm perfectly entitled to film anything I can. Hang on, wait a minute. I'm perfectly entitled to film anything I can see from a public place, including council buildings that are owned by the public. Are you accusing me of being a terrorist?
I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but...
Do you have reasonable suspicion to believe that I'm up to anything other than...
I don't know what you're up to.
Go on to Google filming in public. It'll and even legislation.
Don't tell me what I need to do.
Right, well, don't tell me that I need to give you my details when I know that I don't.
I'd like you to move away from this area, please, otherwise...
You need a section 60. You need to remove somebody from an area without probable cause, you need a section 60.
Well, I'm concerned for public safety and what you are doing in this area.
Well, I've told you what I'm doing in this area.
Well, you need to move away from here now.
Right, well, I'll move to the other side of the road, if that's all right.
You've obviously got nothing else better to do with your time, have you?
Well, that's not your concern. What I do with my time is nobody's concern but mine.
Fair enough.
Okay. Can I ask you to identify yourself? You haven't got any numbers on your pellets?
1,000.
1,000. And name?
Sarah Bainbridge.
And yours?
2629. You're also on body cam.
Yeah, that's fine. And you're based here?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
Well, I'm based out of Darlington.
Right, okay, excellent. Hello there.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Hello.
This gentleman is filming. He's now refusing to give any details, and
I'm not obliged to.
I can't understand why he's out filming buildings, council buildings, refusing to give any details in light of the incidents that we're having around the area at the moment.
And those incidents, whatever they may be, no concern of mine, nothing to do with me.
But I don't know who you are, and I can't check you out.
Well, you don't need to.
Yes, I do, because I have a duty of care to the public.
I'll tell you what it is, mate. It's anti-terrorism.
There's no terrorist threat at the moment.
But I don't know who you are.
What do you mean there's no terrorist threat? At the moment, we're still on high.
There's no terrorist threat at the moment, and nor has there been over the past 5 years towards any public buildings. That's a lie.
The tension sharpens after officers mention a bomb hoax from the previous day near council offices. Despite the man denying any connection and pointing out he was unaware of the incident, police continue insisting he leave the area. At this point, he directly challenges them to provide the exact legal power they're relying on. The officers struggle to clearly answer, creating a noticeable shift in the encounter as the demand to move appears unsupported by any specific law.
Any public buildings. That's
a lie, because there was one yesterday actually.
Was there? Well, I wasn't aware of that.
Well,
where was
there
that?
you go.
So where was that?
We don't know.
So here.
Yes, it was actually.
Right.
Yeah, there was one to the council offices as well.
Right. In Darlington.
By an unknown male.
Right.
There was a bomb hoax yesterday.
Was there?
At 11 o'clock yesterday morning.
Right.
By an unknown male at one of the council buildings for us that could possibly be you.
Right. Well, that's nothing to do with me. No concern of mine.
How do we know that?
Well,
It's just
were they stood outside with a mobile phone?
Look, we're not getting into this.
Well,
I am now asking you to leave the area because I feel that you...
On what grounds?
Because you are alarming the public.
No. Which section of the law? You give me the section of the law, I'll quite happily move.
As more officers gather around, the auditor remains calm while openly filming the exchange. Police continue requesting his personal information, arguing they need reassurance before leaving him alone in public. He repeatedly explains that filming buildings from a pavement is legal and that refusing to identify himself is not an offense. The conversation becomes increasingly circular, with officers relying more on authority and persistence than on clearly stated legal powers or reasonable suspicion.
Beg your pardon? I'm just a...
I never said one word.
You liar. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm not going to talk to anybody.
That's all right, because we're filming you as well.
That's fine. It's public.
Just stand here
it's perfectly
until
okay.
you move out of the
it's
way.
okay, perfectly okay to film in public, which is what I was explaining to your colleague.
Right.
I'll just stand here.
You can stand there as long as you want. The architecture on those buildings is quite similar to those ones. And that's 1903. It doesn't say on the front of this building when this was built. Well, the architecture, like it says, is quite similar. I know it used to be a school.
You gave me your details and I could
Right, so
be happy that there is
my
nothing
details
untoward.
won't give you any other information.
I would like to check you out so that I am happy that I can leave you unattended on the side of the road.
You've got no actual reason other than curiosity as to why I'm filming to be stood here
I want
asking.
to know who you are to make sure.
I don't have to identify myself, and you're well aware of that. I know the law just as much
very
as you.
shortly, I will to prevent a breach of the peace.
You can't prevent a breach of the peace if none was going to take place.
The confrontation deepens when officers begin mentioning antisocial behavior and breach of the peace. However, the scene remains completely calm with no aggression, threats, or disorder taking place. The auditor challenges every claim directly, pointing out that lawful filming does not suddenly become suspicious simply because officers dislike it. What stands out here is how repeatedly the police attempt to justify intervention while struggling to explain what actual offense is being committed. The turning point comes when police begin warning the man he could be arrested and even have his camera seized under terrorism legislation. Despite the serious threats, no evidence is presented beyond the fact he is recording in public. The auditor refuses to back down, calmly reminding officers that declining to provide details is not obstruction. As frustration builds, the exchange exposes a growing imbalance between the legal powers being referenced and the actual circumstances unfolding on the street.
I have reasonable grounds to believe you...
If you're asking me to move...
Yes.
Right, and you can state me a section of the law, I'll move, quite happily. That's a perfectly reasonable request.
It's fine, because we've got supervision coming in.
Do you understand what the current current levels of threat at the moment.
Right, if there has
You know
been...
what the word imminent means? I'm sure you do. You seem like an intelligent
If there
person.
has been a threat yesterday of some sort, then yes, I can understand.
Right. So now you understand.
But I wasn't aware of that until you told me.
Right.
And
So now that's why we need your details.
well, you don't need my details.
Yes, we do.
So do you have the details whoever it was who you spoke to yesterday?
You know what's going to happen, right? I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. You're going to end up getting arrested.
For what?
Right? Listen,
No, for
we're
what?
speaking to a supervision at the moment, okay? Based on the current threat levels and the incident that happened
now
yesterday,
we'll get an
that
order out.
ended up getting seized, okay, under the terrorism laws, okay?
Your body cameras will also be made public knowledge to me, and I'll use them.
That's fine. I want to know.
I just
we wanna
can't
know
see
who
why
you
you're
are.
being so obstructive.
I'm not being obstructive at all.
You are being
I'm
You
not
are.
obliged. No, there's no obstruction because I'm not obliged by law to give you
Well, that's fine,
unless
you
you
can fight that in court then.
unless you
Yeah.
reasonably assume that I don't need to because it wouldn't go to court.
Well, you're being
You'd be looking at a lawsuit.
You're being obstructive. I don't care.
I'm not being obstructive at
I
all.
don't care.
Refusing to give my details when being asked is not an
Listen,
obstruction.
You've asked for our details, okay?
Because I'm as a member of the public,
Yeah.
and you've been civil servant, you are legally obliged to give me those details upon request.
You've obviously got.
The encounter shifts again when officers decide they will remain with him until they feel satisfied he poses no threat. They openly admit they may follow him wherever he goes while seeking authority for a stop and search. The auditor immediately challenges this, questioning whether he is being unlawfully detained. Even after declining an invitation to attend the police station, officers continue pressing him for answers while trailing him, blurring the line between voluntary interaction and restriction of movement.
Better to do.
Well, but that's my concern, not yours.
Sitting there reviewing Google, do you know what I mean, and getting yourself up to speed on local current laws and stuff. No, that's fine, right? But you're going to be the one that's going to end up in a sticky situation.
Intimidation and threats from the local police.
Until I feel that you do not pose a risk to the general public, I will remain with you here.
If I was stood on the other side of the road without a camera, you wouldn't have approached me. It's purely because I'm filming. Filming is a perfectly legal activity.
Because we don't know why you are filming.
But I've told you why I'm filming, for a story.
A story for what?
For YouTube. For my blog.
Right, so who are you? If
I
you're-
don't have to identify myself. And you're well aware of the law regarding identification, stop and search powers and procedures.
It's fine. At the moment, my colleagues are on to senior officers so that we can have a power of stop and search to get your details.
Good luck with that. You're detaining me.
I'm not detaining you.
So you just said to me I'm not going anywhere at the minute.
Listen, where do you intend to go next? Because I'm just going to follow you, right?
That's no concern of yours.
Right, well listen, I'm just going to follow you because we need to speak to you about what you're doing.
You can follow me wherever you like,
that's fine then,
but
alright.
don't tell me that I'm not going anywhere
Alright.
because that's a threat of detainment unlawfully.
Right, listen,
Okay.
would you like to come back round to the police station
I don't
while
need
we
to.
speak to you?
No, I don't need to.
You don't need
No.
to. Right, where are you going now?
I'm not telling you.
I'm going to follow you then, okay?
You follow me.
Okay.
The wider consequences of the encounter are revealed. A complaint was reportedly submitted afterward, resulting in additional training linked to data protection and police conduct. The footage highlights a repeated pattern where officers relied on vague claims about safety, terrorism, and public concern without clearly identifying lawful authority. Throughout the exchange, the auditor stayed composed, challenged every claim calmly, and ultimately walked away without arrest. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.